Okay, so feel free to say whatever you want to say. Stop me, interrupt me. So this is what we will consider today in this discussion. This is Strong's number 7585. So we're going to look at this in the Strong's lexicon and also the Brown Driver Briggs. So you can see, let me go back to the pointer. So everyone can see that this is modern Hebrew script. This is the modern Hebrew script, okay? You can see the dots and the dashes, right? You see the dots and the dashes. This looks completely different than Ibaryath script, or what's commonly called the Phoenician Hebrew script. Okay, it looks completely different. And you can see, Judai, you feel free to jump in whenever you want. You can see here, you can see here, this is a 4 pictograph word, right? Everybody in the audience, this is 4 pictographs. Here you see this is 3 pictographs, right? 3 pictographs. Okay, so we go over this concept a lot in our Saturday class at 9 a.m., where we're doing a word for word analysis and evaluation of every word in Deuteronomy chapter 28. Okay, right now we're on the curses. Okay, so everybody is welcome. So you see here is a 4-letter word or 4 pictograph word, and here it's 3 pictographs, right? So what happened? How does it go from 4 pictographs to 3 pictographs? And does it affect the meaning? Does it affect the meaning of the word? Does it affect the meaning of the word? That is to say, oops, let me get it back to where we were. That is to say, are these the same or are they different? If so, why? If not, why not? Right? Get that information in the Saturday at 9 a.m. class. Saturdays, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so this is the word Sha'ala, or in English, they say Sheol, right? Judaiah, do you want me to read or do you want to read?
You can read, because it's like bent kind of, but I can kind of see it, but I can, you go ahead.
All right. So, okay, notice it says from Strong 7592. So we'll come, let me read that real quick. I have my Strongs open. So if you have your Strongs, if you're in the audience and you have your Strongs, you should pull out your Strongs and follow along, okay? So looking up these other Strong's numbers is important, really, really important. Notice it says from 7592. There's a relationship between the words, okay? And part of understanding our language is understanding the relationship between words, okay? The etymology and the relationship between each word. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and read Strong's number 7592. Now, everyone viewing the video, the idea here is to understand, to identify and understand the relationship between Strong's number 7592 and 7585, right? We discuss this in our course all the time. This is a big deal. Okay, so Strong's number 7592 reads, and by the way, the pictograph is Sha'ala also. Those are the pictographs, okay? So if you do a word study, if you do an Ibaryath word study, you'll come out with the same result on both of these. Okay, so let's begin. It says a primitive root to inquire, by implication to request, by extension to demand. Let's repeat that. A primitive root to inquire, by implication to request, by extension, to demand. So we need to look up, right? We need to look up
I
the
don't
word.
see that.
Yeah, I'm looking at Strong's number 7592.
Yeah, I see it here, 7585. And then on the side, it says 7592. But what you're reading, I don't see.
Yeah, it's not on the screen.
Oh, okay.
I'm reading it out of the book. I'm reading out of the Strong. So if you have your Strongs, you can pull it out. So if you're in the audience and you have your Strongs.
Yep, let me go get my Strongs.
Okay. So while Jediah does that, I'm going to go on the internet and we can look up these words. It's very important to understand the precise language that we're dealing with, okay? We are to understand what this information means. Okay, implication. So let's begin. A primitive root, to inquire, by implication, to request. So what is the precise meaning of implication? The conclusion that can be drawn from something, although it is not explicitly stated. Here's the similar: suggestion, inference, insinuation, innuendo, hint, indication, imputation. Okay. So again, the second meaning is the action or state of being involved in something: connection, entanglement, association. All right, so here we see as noun implication in the definition number one, the implication that can be drawn from something. Okay, so we'll go step by step. To inquire, by implication, to request. So do you agree? So we'll walk through some analytical thinking steps. So the first point we might consider is, do you agree that to inquire is to request, right? So if someone, well, let's look up inquire. Are you back, Jediah?
Yes.
So we're going to walk through step by step. All right, inquire, ask for information from someone. The second definition is investigate, look into. Okay, so now when we look at, do you have it open to 7592? It's on page 269. Are you in the expanded exhaustive concordance?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, page 269. It's on the bottom right-hand left side of the page. 7592.
Okay, I have it.
Okay. Do you want to participate, or do you want me to go through it?
Oh, where are you at?
I'm at the very beginning. 70 strong 7592. It says sha'ala, a primitive root.
Yeah. So inquire by implying, to request by extent, to demand.
Yes, so now we're going to walk through that. So the first word here we need to get a precise meaning on is inquire. Oh, I'm sorry, to request, I had that wrong. So to request. So we're going to walk the audience through step by step on how to approach this. So this is to request. Okay, as a noun, to request means an act of asking politely or formally for something. As a verb, politely or formally ask for. The similar is appeal, plea, petition, solicitation, prayer, application, demand, call, summons, okay, bidding, okay. And as a verb, call, seek, solicit. All right, so that's the meaning, to request, okay? Now, what's at issue is the next, after the semicolon, it says by implication to request. So the meaning of implication, do you want to go through this one, Jediah?
By the meaning.
So here we are.
Implication.
Just go through, present the meaning. Yeah. Okay, so implication is a noun. The first meaning is the conclusion that can be drawn from something, although it is not explicitly stated. Okay, so the conclusion. So now let's look this one up. Are you with me, Jediah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, conclusion, the meaning of conclusion. The end or finish of an event or process. The end or finish of an event or process. Closure, ending. The second meaning as a noun, a judgment or decision reached by reasoning. So this looks more like what we're looking at. The end or finish of an event or process. So when we look at this word, it means I'm seeing things, to inquire. I was right the first time. Okay, so to inquire, remember that meant to ask. The next line is by implication to request. So if you ask for something, does that mean you are requesting something? That's
Yes.
the first thing. That's the first decision we need to reach in our analytical process, right? So-and-so asked for something. Does that mean that so-and-so is requesting something, right? Okay. Now, by extension, to demand. So now let's look up extension, okay? So when we do this, we always have to check for not only the precise meaning, but do we agree with the reasoning? Is it reasonable? Is it logic, right? Extension. Okay. Internal content or concept. So as a noun in logic, it means the internal content of a concept, the internal content of a concept. Its ancient meaning is resolution or determination. So this is saying, is it logical then that to inquire is to demand? So that's something everybody needs to answer for themselves. If you ask for something, are you demanding something?
No.
Right? Yes, but that's what they want. That's what they wrote in the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
By extension, to demand. And I agree with you also.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I shouldn't say my opinion. But this is the process. This is the process we should go through. So this is the difference between analytical thinking or analytical reading and reading to understand what the writer is saying, right? So if you read it to understand what the writer is saying, you're going to miss the analytical part, which is using your own brain to determine if the conclusions that the author or if the statements of the author make sense, right? You have anything you want to say about that, Jediah, or
No.
no? You agree or disagree?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. So it's really, really important that we read analytically and not just accept what the author says when we read books like this. Okay, we have to remember that these documents have been used to enslave us, right? So we have to pull off the dogma, okay, to get to what's really meant, okay? All right. So let's begin. All right. So from Strong's 9592, Hades. Hades is the Greek word that they use for Sheol. Hades, or the world of the dead, as if a subterranean retreat. So, we're going to look up subterranean because I don't know what everybody's vocabulary is.
Mhm. So was Hades the brother of the Greek god Zeus?
Let's look it up. I know Hades. It might be. We'll look it up. Subterranean, existing, occurring, or done under the earth's surface. This is an adjective, and the next definition is secret, concealed. So let's go back to that. This is interesting. This is interesting. Okay, so it says Hades, or the world of the dead, as if a subterranean retreat. Subterranean is an adjective. Okay, adjective to retreat, right?
Because he was, Zeus' brother Hades was supposed to be the guardian of the underworld.
I'm going to look it up so we can do it. A subterranean retreat. So let me pull it up. Okay, here it is. This is what was Wikipedia, but okay, yeah, you're right. You want to go through it, Judea?
Hades, Greek Hades, the unseen, also called Pluto or Pluton, the wealthy one, or the giver of wealth. In ancient Greek religion, god of the underworld. There he ruled with his queen Persephone over the infernal powers and over the dead in what was often called the house of Hades, or simply Hades.
Okay. So he was the giver of wealth, the wealthy one, or the giver of wealth. That's interesting. Shalom, Lewis.
Shalom, Dr. Yasapa. Shalom, Judea.
Shalom, Lewis.
Good to see you. So this is interesting, isn't it? Also called Pluto or Pluton, the wealthy one, or the giver of wealth. That's interesting. All right.
Yes, it is.
I know I missed a lot. What did I miss?
Okay. Okay. So we go back to it.
I had to get my mother ready for the night.
Okay. We're by the way, we're live on YouTube, Lewis.
We're live. Okay.
Yeah, we're live on YouTube. So this is a video we're doing on hell. In modern Hebrew, it's Sheol. These are the modern Hebrew pictographs that we're looking at right here. Do you see 7585?
I do.
Okay, so this is Strong's number 7085. This is the modern Hebrew script. Note the dots and dashes.
I do.
Okay, so this is a 4 pictograph word. This is a 3 pictograph word. We deal with this in the course. You probably remember.
I remember.
Yes. So first thing we'll do is begin with the reading of the first line. So it says from 7592, as we deal in the course on the Saturday class, we need to go back and look at the meaning of 7592. Okay. So we already did it.
Okay, that's fine.
Can we do it, Judea? I don't remember. Did I start? We'll do it
Can we
again. We'll do it again. I don't remember if I did 7592. But we're gonna look at 7592 because we're gonna
No, we
do
didn't do 7592.
We didn't, okay. So we're gonna do this as a step by step because this is such an important topic. People are afraid of hell and burning.
In fact, we did do 7592, excuse me. We did.
Yeah. So this has a lot of people in fear.
Oh,
And it really controls their thought and behavior, right? Really limits them. So from Strong's number 7592, now here's the meaning. Hades, this is the Greek word, right? That they use for hell. Hades, or the world of the dead, as if a subterranean retreat. So in other words, as if it's someplace underground, right?
Right.
Including its accessories. So the world of the dead has accessories and what? Inmates. It has accessories and inmates. So let's look up accessories. You know, like a woman wearing accessories, right?
Right, right.
Oh, by the way, let's go through something. So we looked at the word implication. So do you want to present this word, Louis? Implication?
Sure. Implication, noun. The conclusion that can be drawn from something, although it is not exactly stated. Similar, suggestion, inference, instant. Hold your cursor's in the way. I can't read it.
Okay.
Insinuation, yes, insinuation, innuendo, hint, intimation. Let's see, opposite, the action or state of being involved in something.
Okay. So the second definition is the action or state of being involved with something. So implication, again, is the conclusion that can be drawn from something, although it is not specifically stated. So now let's go back to let's apply that definition. Okay, it says here, Hades, or the world of the dead, as a subterranean retreat. Oh, wait. I'm confused, y'all. Okay, so we were on 7585. Is that what we were at? No, we're 7592.
92.
We're on
Yes.
92.
92, yes.
Okay, so yeah, so now we're going to apply it. So we're on 7592. Let me turn this off so I don't confuse anybody else. So now I'm going to read from Strong's number 7592. Okay. It reads, a primitive root to inquire. Okay, so we looked up inquire, and let's do it again. Okay, just let's look up inquire. All right, do y'all see my screen share?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, inquire.
Inquire, verb. Ask for information from someone. He inquired about cottages for sale. Similar, ask. Number 2, investigate, look into. The task.
Okay, excellent. Now here's what it says in Strong's number 7592. And Louis, tell me if you agree with this. If so,
Okay.
why? If not, why?
Okay.
A primitive root to inquire. Do you agree with this, Louis? By implication, to request. Here's the meaning of implication.
No, I don't agree, because it's not exactly stated. If it's not exactly stated, then that can't be correct.
Okay, all right. What about you, Judea? Do you agree? There's no right or wrong answer. Remember, this is our personal analysis. If you don't want to answer,
conclusion,
that's okay too.
the conclusion that can be drawn from something, although it is not explicitly stated. So your question is, what now?
Okay, to inquire, by implication, to request. Do you agree? So in other words, if you ask for something, does that mean you are requesting something? Let's look up request.
Yes, I would say if you're requesting something, yeah. If you inquire, yes, I would say it is.
Okay, so request, an ask of asking politely or formally for something.
For something. Mm-hmm.
Verb politely or to formally ask. So remember, these are our personal. This is our personal analysis. So we all have our own viewpoint. So there's no right and wrong.
Right.
But you know, now that I think about it, it says even though you don't formally or exactly ask for it, it is inferred that you ask for it, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so that should be, well, it would be correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Now it says by extension to demand. So now let's look up extension. Make sure we agree with the conclusions that and it's not even that we have to agree with the author.
Yeah.
We should have an understanding of what the author is saying, regardless of what we think about what he's saying, right? We're reading analytically. Okay, so
Right.
Extension. Does someone want to present this one? Louis?
Okay, extension. Now, a part that is added to something to enlarge or prolong it. A continuation, similar, addition, add-on, adjunct, addendum, augmentation, supplement, to a length of electrical cord that permits the use of an appliance at some distance from a fixed socket. So that wouldn't.
Okay, so it would be more along the lines of number one, right?
Right, right.
A part that is added to something to enlarge or prolong it, continuation. So the next step would be, do we agree with this? It says here, the meaning is to inquire, by implication to request, by extension to demand. So that's the next thing we need to deal with. So
I don't think it's a demand. To request something is not a demand.
Mm-hmm. So it's saying by extension to demand.
By extension to demand.
So, and the meaning of extension is a part that is added to something.
I don't agree.
So if you add an extension to your request, like a legal document, you add an addendum or extension to that document, does it make it a demand?
But that could be an example of it.
Okay. Okay.
So this is the analytical process we should go through. I just want to demonstrate what looking up these words to get a precise meaning, how to handle these, okay?
Right, right.
Not so much, and I'm speaking to the audience now. It's not so much, it's not so much about what the author is saying, right? But we need to check to see if the author is being honest with us, or if the author's logic is flawed, right? So we need to vet it through our own brain, our own analytical process, our own thought process. So this is reading comprehension, okay? So whatever conclusions you reach, you're speaking to the audience, that's good. There's no right and wrong. The point of this is to practice this so that you become very confident at it. And of course, you become very skilled and very good at it, okay? So whatever conclusions that you reach in your analysis, you're going to use that as the basis of everything else you read. So if this author's conclusions are off, then you need to take that into consideration with everything the author says. Okay, that's kind of the point here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's continue. I'm going to start from the beginning. This is Strong 7592. To inquire, by implication to request, by extension to demand. And next it's getting into its renderings in English. So they render this as ask 94 times, inquire 22 times, desire 9 times, require 7 times, borrow 6 times, salute 4 times, demand 4 times, lent 4 times, request 3 times, earnestly 2 times, beg twice. Okay, and then it goes on and on and on. Now the next paragraph says this: Sha'el, which is Strong's number 7592, means to ask, inquire, consult. 1, it is commonly used for simple requests. You can read that in Judges chapter 5, verse 25. 2, Sha'el is sometimes used in the sense of praying for something. Sha'el is sometimes used in the sense of praying for something. And they're getting that from Psalms 122, verse 6. 3, to ask another of his welfare. To ask another of his welfare carries the sense of a greeting. Is that interesting, y'all?
Yes.
This word that they're translating as hell is associated with a greeting or asking about someone's welfare.
That is, yeah, very interesting.
Because it's totally different to what people think it means.
Mm-hmm.
Because people think hell is damnation.
Mm-hmm. To ask another of his welfare carries a sense of a greeting. And they're getting this from Exodus chapter 18, verse 7, Judges chapter 18, verse 15, and 1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 4. 4, frequently it is used to indicate someone's asking for the Most High's direction or counsel. They're getting that from Joshua chapter 9, verse 14, and Isaiah chapter 30, verse 2. 5, Psalms 109, verse 10. It is used to indicate begging. Okay, so now this is the word, this is where the word that's translated as hell comes from. Right? Everybody should remember the Hebrew root word system and the concept of nuances, right? That we deal with all the time in the class.
Yes.
So now let's go to the word itself, hell, Strong's number 7585. I think this is very interesting. Okay, so here we are, 7585. Can everybody see this?
Yes.
Okay, it says, so from 7585, we just read that, to inquire, by implication to request, by extension to demand, right? It's basically a greeting. So, all right. So Hades, or Turanian retreat, includes its accessories and inmates. Okay, so this word hell has accessories and inmates. Inmates. So what are inmates? Let's look that up. I'm only familiar with the negative meaning of inmates. Let's see if there's something positive about inmates. Does anyone know anything positive about inmates?
No.
So let's see. Inmate as a noun A person confined to an institution such as a prison or hospital, patient, inpatient, convalescent, resident, inhabitant, jailbird, internee, detainee, captive, convict, prisoner, occupant. Okay, the archaic, one of several occupants of a house. Oh, so this would be the ancient meaning. I would assume in let's look at something real quick. Anybody have any thoughts?
It's been changed.
Let's see, the etymology of inmate. Originally in the 16th century, an inmate was one allowed to live in a house rented by another. Ain't that nothing? Think about this in terms of your mortgage. And contrast this with when you have your own or alloidial, right? So we have our own land. It's ours. But when you rent from someone, you're an inmate. I've never made this connection before. If you have a mortgage, or if you're renting a house, you are an inmate. What was the I think that's quite interesting.
You bet it is.
A roommate who's not on a lease, in other words. Okay, this meaning comes from in and mate, friend or companion. Oh, wow. By the 1830s, inmate had come to mean one confined to an institution. Let me read this again. Originally in the 16th century, an inmate was one allowed to live in a house rented by another. A roommate who's not on the lease. In other words, okay, I understand it now. This meaning comes from in and mate, friend or companion. Okay, so this is not relating to alloidial or mortgage. This is just somebody who's not on the lease.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so they use mate today as friend in Australia.
Yes.
Okay, so a friend or companion who's living in your house. So the connotation is not negative. Okay, well, the etymology is not negative. The connotative meaning is negative.
Right. They definitely have changed.
Did you get that, Louis?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Okay, so excellent. All right, so accessories. Let's look up accessories to see if we can find something interesting. Hell has accessories. All right, accessories. Okay, plural noun, a thing which can be added to something else in order to make it more useful, versatile, or attractive. So hell can be extended, right? That's what it's saying. 2, law, someone who gives assistance to the perpetrator of a crime without directly committing it, sometimes without being present. So now let's look at this. Okay, so including its accessories. So I'm thinking, what might these accessories be? Are these accessories people? We just looked at the definitions. Or entities, let's say people, entities, whatever. So are the accessories someone who gives assistance, right, to the function of hell? Or is it a thing that can be added to hell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's saying to us, right?
Right.
So what, they're going to offer us water?
All right, yeah. Okay, so let's get to it. All right, so let's begin with the reading. Louis, you want to read or shall I read?
I'll read.
Okay.
Okay, so where are we? Right where the cursor is? Sheol.
Yeah.
Sheol is the abode of the dead, a place of degradation, the locality or condition of those who have died or have been destroyed. It is implied that although, so far as the world is concerned, they have perished, yet they are still in a state of existence and are within the Most High's cognizance.
Well, may I interrupt you, please?
Sure.
So let's go back to the meaning of inmate. So this means that you're not paying rent, right? So
Oh, no.
Right.
No, you're not
you're
paying.
there,
rent.
but you're not on lease. You're not written on that lease. You're just there.
You're just there.
Mhm.
You're just there. Okay, so let's continue.
Okay. One, Sheol is the place of the dead. It refers to.
I have another question
Okay.
or statement. You all see it says it is implied that although so far as the world is concerned, they have perished, yet
Right.
they are still in a state of existence and are within the Most High's cognizance. So let's take a look at this. It is implied. Let's look up implied. Let's see how this works out. Implied, and let's see if we agree with this, okay? Can y'all see my browser?
Yes.
Yes.
Louis, do you want to present implied?
Sure. Okay. Implied, adjective, suggests but not directly expressed, implicit. Okay.
Okay, now let's see if we agree with that. Is it actually suggested? Let's go back. Now, remember what we looked up in 7592, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, the meaning was to inquire, by implication, to request, by extension, to demand. Okay, that's what this from 7992. And remember that it says what? It meant to ask, inquire, or consult, used for simple request. Number two says it's used in a sense of praying for something. Number three was it's used to ask about another person's welfare, which is, remember we discussed, I don't know if you all were in the course at that time, but our tradition is to ask about a person's welfare. We didn't say hi, hello. We would ask about your welfare and the welfare of your family. So connotatively a greeting. Okay, so let me see what else they have here. It's number four, asking for the Most High's direction. Okay, or five, begging. Now here we have the meaning of the actual word itself, Strong's number 7585. Okay, again, referencing, it comes from what? 7592, which we just reviewed. It says Hades, this is a Greek word, so we can just forget that, right? There was no Hades word at that time. Or the world of the dead. So the world of the dead, as if a subterranean retreat. Okay, so now do we agree that it is implied? So does this imply, does the meaning imply that, are y'all with me?
Yes.
Does that imply that so far as the world is concerned, they have perished, yet they are still in a state of existence in the Most High's mind? So do you all agree that is implied by the world of the dead? Whatever your conclusions are, is no right and wrong. So the idea is to
well,
think,
if you're looking at it as a place like a subterranean retreat, and is an abode of the dead, a place of degradation, the locality or condition of those who have died or have been destroyed. So if they're still in existence, because if not, what did they need with an abode?
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah. So what about the idea of there being in the Most High's memory? See, I remember when I was in,
I would say yes, if they're still in existence, but is that existence a state of consciousness that they're talking about?
well, that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at.
If you think about the contract
Mhm.
and how if we don't return to the Most High, He'd never be willing to forgive us.
And what verse was that? Where the Most High states that?
That is
Deuteronomy chapter 29, somewhere around verse 19. Or
Right.
somewhere in there.
Okay.
I was going to say around between 14 and 18, but anyway, if you think about that, and you think about still in the Most High's mind or cognizance, that means to me that it implies that you are in that condition, you are there, and even though you die, you're not off the hook, because He's never going to be willing to forgive you. You know, and that may be off on a tangent, but that's what it brought to mind.
No, you're not. I'm just trying to figure out if they're talking about a person being alive, but consciously dead.
So what is the meaning? Excuse me. What is the meaning of retreat? What is the meaning of retreat?
Well, what I'm used to thinking about when you think about a retreat is a place to go to relax. You know.
Right. So, okay. So retreat, verb, of an army, withdraw from an enemy force or withdraw from enemy forces as a result of their superior power or after a defeat. Noun, as a noun, an act of moving back or withdrawing. Okay, withdrawal, flight. 2, a signal for a military force to withdraw. Let's look in the Cambridge English Dictionary. All right. So here we see retreat as a verb, to go away from a place or person in order to escape fighting or danger. Okay. So it's basically an escape, a safe place. 2, to go to a quiet, safe place. Oh, there it is. To go to a quiet, safe place in order to avoid a difficult situation. So Lewis, going back to your comments about a contract.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, the curse would be sickness and death, right? And then you get to go to a quiet, safe place in order to avoid the curses. The curses is a difficult situation.
Yes, absolutely.
If we understand retreat to be that way, that kind of, for me, that kind of doesn't go along with the curses.
No,
because
it does
now
not.
you're getting relief by going to a retreat.
Right. But
so the next definition, to decide not to do something or to stop believing something because it causes too many problems. That's retreat as a verb. Okay, retreat as it has to do with price. If a price retreats, it goes down after it has gone up. Excuse me. So this is the military one. a move back by soldiers or an army because they have been defeated or in order to avoid fighting. Okay, the next definition for retreat, a period of time used to pray and study quietly. Okay. Or to think carefully, away from formal activities and duties. So this might also have some relationship to the contract, right? I mean, if we want to try to work with it like that, right? Next definition, retreat as a noun, a change from previous beliefs or behavior. So you were you were not following the instructions. Now it's taken away from you, right? Where your life is taken away from you. That's a blunt change in your behavior. So let's see, retreat as a noun, continued, a situation in which the price of something goes down. Okay, retreat as a verb, to move back and away from someone or something, especially because you are frightened or want to be alone. To retreat, also to go away from a person or place because you are unwilling to fight anymore. Okay, the act of going away from a person or place because you are unwilling or frightened. Okay, and then finally, a retreat is also a private and safe place where you can be alone. Okay, so this would not go with what the author is saying, right? Because it says here that there are inmates, remember?
Right.
It says subterranean retreat, including its accessories and inmates.
Right.
Okay, so, all right, so we check this out. It is implied that although I'm not too sure if that's implied, that I'll have to give this more thought. Hades, the world of the dead. Okay. The world of the dead. The implication is these dead people are still in a state of existence. So they're not really dead, right? And then we see conjunction and. Conjunction and. So they're still in existence and they are in the Most High's awareness.
Correct.
So if this is the case, the dead do not die.
Right. Only the world considers them dead or that they have perished. But the Most High, no.
Do y'all see what this means?
I'm confused because
it means we live forever.
no, not because of that. I'm confused. Are they saying that because this is supposed to be about hell? So are they saying that everybody that dies goes to hell? Or are they just saying that it's a conscious death?
Well, that's a good question. Now, if it's a conscious death, how can they still be in existence?
Because they're still alive, but consciously they're disconnected.
Well, I have a question for you. Is it possible?
Is it possible?
Yeah. So
Yes.
in other words,
I see a lot of people walking around every day that is consciously dead.
Okay, so when
I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
So when we look at the physical, when we look at us,
yes.
Now I'm going to speak for me personally, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
I am consciousness. I'm condensed, or that consciousness is condensed into a physical body, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do know, remember we talked about I, self, law, and master?
Right.
Yes.
The I, the first person, the I, the decision maker, is not located inside my body. The medical sciences knows this. That decision maker is not in your physical body.
Mm-hmm.
But the decision maker makes the decision to move your arm, move your leg. That is in the physical body, and it can be detected by sensors, right? But I am not in this physical body, according to medical science. The I, the decision maker, cannot be detected by any sensor. It's consciousness, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Not altered state of mind, but
Right.
consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you all see the connection now? Yet they are still in a state of existence. So existence would be what? B, the Strong's number 1961. Be,
Mm-hmm.
exist, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Be, exist, to
Mm-hmm.
be in existence. So if the physical body, as we go through this, you guys are going to see the physical body is no longer, right? In a natural state, it gets consumed by other life forms, broken down, right? Eaten away.
Mm-hmm.
But it's saying that we're still in existence.
Yes. Yes. I believe that.
Consciousness.
Yeah. Because we're all part of the whole consciousness.
Yes. So the consciousness is still there. So that means, according to this, not some doctrine, just according to what they're saying here, is that at death, the consciousness stays and it goes to this subterranean, where is it? This subterranean retreat.
Well, I disagree.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you gonna share with us?
I disagree because when we start talking about the underworld and we start talking about the lower self and the higher self, so when we're talking about a subterranean retreat, I'm thinking about somewhere in the lower self.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not in paradise or Eden, you know, for lack of a better word.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how come I'm confused as to what state of existence they're talking about. Are they talking about a, you know, living existence or a conscious existence? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So are you saying if there's going to be another body? Is that what you mean?
No, not exactly. I guess what I'm trying to say is when I think of, because we were talking about Hades, and I know that Hades was supposed to be the keeper of the underworld, which is supposed to be hell. Although here is saying that hell is something totally different. It's more like a retreat. Yeah. So, you know, I'm kind of like, you know, okay, now how are they looking at this? You know, what's, you know, I'm just confused. That's all.
Okay, I think as we go through it, it'll be clear. Did you have anything, Lewis, before we continue?
It sounds to me like you are, well, you have to lose the body anyway. You're connected from the body, and the consciousness, which has always been, will always be.
Yes.
And regardless of, you know, I get this Sheol, hell, place of existence, abode of the dead. but you know, regardless of if it's there or wherever it is, the consciousness that we speak of, that it always has been, always will be. Therefore, that's why I say that we live forever, consciously.
Yes, we do. And that's how come I'm confused, only because I'm looking at it as, you have the people who live a righteous life.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have those who are just bad and evil.
Mm-hmm.
So are all of these consciousness of the bad and the good in the same place?
According to this, yes.
Interesting then.
Yeah, according to this, yes. But have you all connected this to science? The laws of thermodynamics. Y'all see the connection?
Not right off.
See, energy cannot be created or destroyed.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Consciousness, right?
Right.
Consciousness. So the consciousness stays, it's energy.
Right.
Okay.
So remember I was doing those, actually, I'm going to start back to do them. I was doing those meditations, and I would say, I'm pure energy, I am pure consciousness.
Yes.
So energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It only what? It only changes form.
Yes, transfers.
Yes. So here we see that. We see that in here. Right? Okay,
Yes.
so let's continue.
So it only changes form.
Yes, only changes form. See, consciousness, energy and consciousness is information, right? It's knowledge. Right? Energy. Okay.
So we're saying that, let's say that bad person can transform himself into a good person if you believe in reincarnation.
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
But I hear you. What I'm saying is that consciousness is pure energy, and energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only change forms.
Yes.
It changes forms, but it is never created or destroyed.
Right.
Cannot be.
Is there actually good energy and bad energy? I guess there is.
Yeah, that's what. Oh, go ahead.
So
that's a higher and lower self.
Right. Okay. So if you can't create or destroy it, it only changes form. So if you wind up your assignment here and go to Sheol, you can theoretically could change form into positive energy and reinvent yourself or reinvent that force.
Right. And that's how, how I look at everlasting life.
Are you with me, Doc?
Is he, Dr. Usapa?
Yes.
Are you with us?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay.
So that's how I internalize the everlasting life.
Right.
Because of the fact that energy never dies. So yes, we continuously come back. And my thing is, every time we come back, we come back either evolved or come back to live out a karma that we created.
Oh, okay, so you're saying reincarnation, Judah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Certain of, well, never mind. I'll let that go.
Okay, so let's continue. So remember how everyone in the audience, the conclusions you reach are yours, right? There's no right and wrong on how you interpret this. So what we're trying to demonstrate right here is the thinking process of going through this text so we can come to an understanding of what this word hell really means, okay, to free our mind. Okay, so Lewis, let's continue. Number one.
Number one, Sheol is the place of the dead. It refers to okay, where are we?
Almost there. Okay. Can you see that?
Yes, the netherworld, or the underground cavern to which all buried dead go. 2, it was not understood to be a place of punishment, but simply the ultimate resting place of all mankind. Genesis.
Can we discuss that one? Number 2?
No, we
Yeah,
haven't.
that's it. That's interesting.
Yeah, we did not discuss it, but yeah, I'd like. Yeah, I think that's very interesting also, because that is not taught, not even in doctrine.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Oh, continue, please. Continue.
Okay. Genesis 37:35.
Oh,
Should we take a look at that?
yeah, let's also discuss this
Okay.
in terms of the implications of hell, of burning in hell.
Mm-hmm.
What effect has that had on humanity?
It has ruined the consciousness, the mind of all in humanity, because they live in a perpetual state of fear. Fear that they can never do enough to merit not being thrown there and burning forever.
Anything else? Jediah?
Well, I've never had that concept of hell. I never looked at hell as a place with fire and pitchforks and devils and red people, and I never looked at it. For me, hell was always a state of consciousness. You can be in heaven or hell. That's where I view things consciously.
I was looking at, speaking of the worldview, especially Christendom.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I've seen with hell, the way it's played out, is that in our community especially, it's made people cowards. People are scared to death to die. They're scared to death. Why? Because they're afraid they're going to burn in hell. They live their lives in such a way that they think that they're deserving of burning in hell. And so therefore they live as cowards. So if you can imagine a man who's afraid to stand up for himself or his family, right? Because he's afraid of what's going to happen to him if he stands up. Can y'all relate to what I'm saying?
Yes, I can.
He's afraid. He's afraid because of what he's done in his life. He thinks he's going to burn in hell. You know, what was that Bible verse? Genesis 30.
35.
Hold up.
37,
It was
30,
37, 35.
37, 35. And also think about this. It creates so much fear that it stops people from acting.
It creates so much fear. It stops people from speaking the truth. There are people that have certain knowledge, and they know that the knowledge that they have, well, the information that they have been taught or given they don't believe it's truth.
Mhm.
However, they are afraid to say that it's not truth for fear that the teacher, the instructor, the whoever it is that has this control over their mind will say to them, "You're an infidel, and your only destiny is hell." So,
Yeah, I know
even
lots
though,
of people. Oh, go ahead.
even though they know the truth, they're afraid to speak the truth, and not just speak the truth. They're afraid to tell others that they really know the truth, because, as it's stated, the truth will set you free.
Yes, I know lots of people who won't give up a deity, even though they know something is wrong. They won't give up the deity because they're afraid to burn in hell.
Exactly.
So that prevents them from returning to the Most High because they're afraid of burning in hell. So they
That I can
cannot,
relate to. That I see clearly.
Mm-hmm.
they
Yes.
cannot, they can,
Mhm.
part of their brain is cut off because of this fear of burning in hell. They're afraid to go to a retreat. So this is really, really serious. Y'all, I wish you could have been in the classes since I've started so that you could see how this fear of burning in hell controls people. Their whole mind is blocked off. They can't even see something, right? Because of this fear. And of course, we get into cognitive dissonance and all of that. But this hell thing, we really, really, as a people, need to come to an understanding of what this is so that we can get out of this lockbox, if you will. Okay, so here's Genesis chapter 37, 35. Jediah, do you want to read it?
Sure. All his sons and daughters came to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. No, he said, I will continue to mourn until I join my son in the grave. So his father wept for him.
Okay, comment. The context of it, let me go back to the document. I think this is it. No, that's not it. Hold on. It's the other one. This one. Okay. So we got that from here where the cursor is. So let me move this. I don't know if you guys can see it. It was 2, paragraph 2. It was not understood to be a place of punishment, but simply an ultimate resting place of all mankind. And we just read that in Genesis 37, 35.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So hell was not and is not a place of fiery punishment or any kind of punishment.
It's just a resting place.
Yeah. So everyone in the audience, I hope you're beginning to see how doctrine is being used, or how doctrine, the hellfire doctrine, has been laid over this topic. Okay. Is that clear, Jediah and Lewis? Y'all think everybody can see that?
Yes, it's clear to me.
I sure hope so. Yeah,
Yeah, it's clear to me.
Okay.
But I wonder why I never had that mindset that there was a hell with fire and stuff.
I don't know. You probably were not. You probably were not deeply rooted in Christendom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not saying anything negative, but I'm just saying that you are probably one of the fortunate few that,
Mm-hmm.
just didn't jump in and take a big bite and
Mm-hmm.
roll with it. You were skeptical,
Yeah.
and a lot of us, myself included, were on the bandwagon and, wanting really to believe, but when time after time after time it did not pan out, something had to be wrong. Something was amiss. This is not happening the way they say it's supposed to happen. So,
and from that, I considered myself to be grounded.
right.
And when I say grounded, because I didn't believe in the heaven in the sky or the hell beneath us. My thing was always that you experience both of these, hell and heaven, right here on earth.
I agree with that.
Because it's a conscious state. You can
Mhm.
create your heaven and you can create your own hell. That was always my thinking.
So that's higher and lower self. That goes back to the tree. Remember we did I don't know if you guys were with me. I did that video on the tree of the knowledge of good and bad, the higher and lower self. In the audience, if you haven't seen that, go back and watch that video about the higher and lower self. Jediah is discussing some things that have to do with that topic, right? Okay, so 3.
Are you sharing your screen, Dr. Yourself? I don't see where we left off.
Okay, let me redo it. Okay, 3.
Okay, 3. Thus it was thought to be the land of no return. And I think that's a good point. Thought to be the land of no return.
Well, let's look at it more closely. Land. That's what? Physical, right?
That's concrete, yes.
Concrete. So are they speaking metaphorically or about a literal cavern or a literal subterranean place where you're on land? Remember, consciousness is not physical.
Right.
Just something to think about, right? Just something to think about.
Right.
So 4.
4. It was a place to be dreaded, not only because it meant the end of physical life on earth, but also because there was no praise of the Most High there.
Let's talk about this.
Okay.
Why would this place be dreaded? And do we agree with this?
No.
It doesn't sound like it should be dreaded. I mean, I wouldn't dread it.
Right.
There's nothing dreadful about it.
No.
As far as what we've read so far.
Absolutely.
It was a place to be dreaded.
Right.
So I disagree with that because I don't see any need to dread it. I don't feel any dread. So why would my ancestors feel dread if I don't? Right? So this is part of the analytical process, right? Not only because it meant the end of physical life on earth. Now they said before it was what? A subterranean cavern or subterranean retreat. So that's still on earth, right?
Right. Exactly.
Thus it was thought to be the land that's on earth of no return.
Correct.
Remember we looked up subterranean, right? Let's look it up again. Let's look up subterranean again. Y'all see my browser?
Yes.
Subterranean.
Subterranean.
Existing, occurring, or done under the earth's surface. So it's still earth. Y'all see it?
Yes.
Yes.
So we need to think carefully about this, right? because it meant the end of physical life on earth, but also because there was no praise of the Most High there. Where? On earth.
On earth, right.
So
There, in that place on earth.
I don't know, Jediah, what do you think?
There was no praise of the Most High there.
Mm-hmm.
Also for, it was a place to be dreaded. Okay,
Right.
so why would they dread it? One is because it meant the end of physical life on earth.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, there was no praise of the Most High there.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
if you are
in other
conscious,
words, we dreaded death.
well, you can, well, I mean, that's one way to look at it. But they're talking about Sheol was a place to be dreaded.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, in other words, what this is saying is, at the end of physical life,
Mm-hmm.
right, there is no more praise of the Most High.
Right.
So our consciousness will not give the Most High praise anymore.
That's according to them, what they're
That's
saying.
right. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
was getting ready to say. According to this.
So now let's look up Psalms. What verse was that? Psalm 6:5. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah,
Sure.
Psalm 6:5.
Second, let me share. Among the dead, no one proclaims your name. Who praises you from the grave? Among the dead, no one proclaims your name.
Mm-hmm.
Who praises you from the grave?
Mm.
Okay, that's what the psalmist is saying.
And that is not true,
Why not?
because you have family
Mhm.
that will still praise your name.
I think it's reference to the Most High. Nobody is
Right.
praising the Most High's name.
Right. Right. And the psalmist is inferring that the physical body does not praise you from the grave.
Are y'all familiar with the scripture in Ecclesiastes? I haven't looked at this in years. I'm surprised I still remember it. Where it says, in Sheol, there is no thoughts nor remembering. The place you are going.
No thoughts or remembering, no. I remember the scripture that says the dead know nothing.
Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, how could they be, here it is, let me show it real quick. How could they still be in existence? You can't have it both ways.
No, you can't.
Ecclesiastes 9, verse 10, New International. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might, for in the realm of the dead, where you are going, there is neither working, nor planning, nor knowledge, nor wisdom. The New Living Translation, whatever you do, do well, for when you go to the grave, there will be no work, or planning, or knowledge, or wisdom. Okay. Let's go back to our document. It seems to not say that. Let's go back. Y'all follow me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So let's see. Yeah. All right. it says here where the cursor is, it is implied that although so far as the world is concerned, that's what people think,
Right.
they have died. So the people think that they're gone, yet they are still in a state of existence. So they still exist. So if you still exist, you have to have consciousness.
Correct.
Otherwise, you don't exist.
Right.
And they're saying they still exist. They still exist, meaning the true self.
Yes, the decision maker, the first person I.
Mm-hmm. The true self still exists.
Yes, see, they exist and are within the most high cognizance. So let's look up cognizance. So people who may not know what that means, we'll look it up. Cognizance.
The mental state.
Judai, you want to present it?
Definition of cognizance. A distinguishing mark or emblem, such as the heraldic bearings.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to look at this. This is very interesting. This idea here, we're going to look at this, okay? We're going to look at that. Oh, let's go back here first. Oh, come on. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, continue, please.
2A, knowledge, awareness. B, notice, knowledge, acknowledgement. 3, jurisdiction, responsibility.
So the Most High, so we're still under the Most High's jurisdiction or authority. Why? Because he's responsible about us, right? He notices and acknowledges that we exist. We're in his awareness. Okay, so if going back to, I don't know why I didn't make this connection before. So how can this then be? If we are not conscious, if we're not still in existence. Y'all see it? Because the conjunction and is two separate things. It says, yet they are still in a state of existence and are within the Most High's cognizance. See, so this, I remember when I was in Christianity, they taught the organization I was in, they thought that you were in the Most High's mind. You know, for example, your DNA is recorded in his mind and he remembers you.
Yeah, cellular memory.
But what this is saying is that they are in fact in a state of existence. They still exist and they're within the Most High's awareness, under the Most High's jurisdiction. Y'all see it?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's go back and look at the, I think, Judea, you're going to find this interesting. The heraldic bearing. Anybody want to read that or should I do it?
Sure. Heraldic bearings. Heraldry, consisting of a design or image depicted on a shield. What is it? A memorial bearing, charge, amulet. What is it? Rundle? Rundle, heraldry. A change in the shape of a circle. A hollow rundle, chevron, an inverted V-shaped change.
So what is this calling to memory?
Is that change or charge? I don't know.
Charge.
It was charge. I couldn't see it.
Okay, so let me go back.
No.
Okay.
You can go ahead. Because I couldn't see that. Was that R was small?
Yeah.
So I couldn't see that charge there. Okay. I thought it was changed. I couldn't see if there was an R or N. Okay.
So a memorial bearing, right? What does this remind us of?
That remind you of the family shield.
Yeah, the family shields.
Mm-hmm.
The family shields.
Mm-hmm.
Heraldry consisting of a design or image depicted on a shield.
Mm-hmm.
Memorial, bearing charge, amulet, rondel. Okay, so we just looked over that, right? So family shield. This, it has to do with nobility. I'm trying to find the better definition. Let me look for nobility. Oh, okay. So here. So let's look at this one. Okay, Heldrick bearing. Heldry consisting of a design or image depicted on a shield. Okay, so in analyt rondel, a charge in the shape of a circle, a hollow rondel, chevron, an inverted V. Okay, so when we see these things on the shield, that's what they mean, right? If you see a circle or an inverted V, like right here, that's called a chevron. Florida list charge consisting of a conventional representing an iris. Okay, so where is the part about nobility? So the noble families had a shield.
Yes.
The noble families had a shield, right? And we see these prominently amongst Moors, don't we?
Yes.
So let's go back. So in the Most High's mind, he is cognizant. He knows the families represented by what?
Shield.
Yes, family shields. I think this is very interesting. Do y'all?
Yes, I do.
The nations have a seal. This is why they have a seal.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find I saw a better definition than this someplace. I want to find it. You okay, Louis? You have any questions?
Taking it all
in Europe, they take the shields really serious. They're serious about their shields in Europe.
So here are some examples of these shields. Okay, so let's see what we get here. So the Most High is remembering people by their family.
Go back to the other one. Can you go back?
Oh, what happened? Okay, which one?
Let's go back to the where you selected this one. Go back, yeah. Where they have the crescents and the coats of armors and names in history. Let's look at that one. This nope right here. Can you go down? Right there. Yeah. Look at that one. Let's look at that one.
So the Most High is remembering people by their families.
Okay.
Noble family, crest, coat of arms and
name history.
So here we are. So these, you know what? I think this is. I'm gonna research this further.
The surnames of nobles is derived from an ancient medieval name, which was spelled in various ways throughout history. Nobles or nobel is derived from the pre-8th century Old French origin. It is said that the word noble was of a British derivative and introduced by the Norman invaders in the conquest of 1066. The word noble translates to mean of high birth. However, it has been said that the surname of nobles more commonly came from the use of the nickname. The nickname was used to describe someone who played a member of a nobility in the traveling theater. So it is more likely that someone with the surname Noble did descend from an actual member of nobility, but rather from someone who played them in the traveling theater.
Mhm. Okay, so can we go back?
Yeah, we can go back. United States, during the 17th century, the European citizens fled to America to search for a new life. This was called the European migration and brought herds of citizens over in ships with horrible living conditions. Oftentimes, those who made it to America were starving and ill. The first reported person with the surname of Noble that fled to America was one woman named Anna Noble, who at 22 years of age boarded a ship named the Expectation in May of 1635, which was one of the first ships to the New World. Anne Noble later settled in the province Rhode Island. George Noble and Anne Noble also set sail for America in 1635, but sailed in another country instead. 2 years later, in the year of 1637, William Noble arrived in Virginia. And in the year of 1643, Michael Noble also landed in Virginia.
Okay, so that's talking about the surname, right?
Yeah,
So let's go back.
yeah, let's go back.
There's another word associated with, it'll come to my mind.
But that's interesting,
Mhm.
you know, that the Most High recognizes the family name, the shields of the families, the
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, which is separate from us, right? Because we
Yeah.
are in his, we exist. Let me go back. So we exist. Everybody see the strong?
Mm-hmm.
We exist and he's remembering us by family shield.
Mm-hmm.
Or the distinctive mark for our family, which goes again back to what? Nationality, the contract, right? This is very interesting.
Yes, interesting. Yeah, because you figure how else would he be able to distinguish the house of Yasharallah?
Yeah.
You know.
And we are not all equal.
Exactly.
We are not all equal in the eyes of the Most High. Otherwise, why would he remember us by different markings or shields? Any comments or questions, Louis?
Well, yeah, I'm just taking it in, and I'm reasoning with it because you're right. Your statement's right. If he didn't distinguish, I mean, everyone would be the same, and there wouldn't he wouldn't have to have a distinguishing marker. We'd just be Yasharallah. Everybody's, that's you're you, I'm me. But there is a difference that by recognizing us by our families lets us know there is a distinction. Because I mean, if I'm a descendant of Korah, who he destroyed all those, I mean, you get where I'm going with that. They are different. We're not all the same. Just like you said, we're not all the same. So, but I'm reasoning with that. I just, it makes sense, but I'd never thought along those lines.
But now we have an idea as to how the Most High will recognize the house of Yasharallah. There is a distinguishing mark.
But and I'm probably reading a little more into it than I should. But it makes me wonder that it makes me wonder why that some of us, you know, that have relatives that are not in the awakening, and we're from the same family. That, I mean, he has to recognize who.
Hey, sorry about that. I got booted out.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't. Were y'all able to hear the last things I was saying?
Yeah, I think so. Judah and I were, well, you asked me, did I, what I was doing, did I understand? Yeah. And I was telling you, I was taking it in because the last thing I got to was how would some of our families not be awakened, and we come from the same family, we have the same distinguishing mark. It just, it makes you wonder why.
Well, remember, it's a personal decision. See, some people haven't gotten beaten up enough.
Okay. Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, but you get beat up now. It's no doubt. You get beat up.
Oh, yeah. And you have to make a decision to let go of the fear in order to come through it.
You do. You have to let go of the fear.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
And I know that because I had to experience it, myself.
Okay, so.
Did you hear us, Dr. Usafa?
No, I got booted out. I just got back in.
Okay.
I didn't hear anything. So in answer to your question, or to your statement, let's look at Deuteronomy chapter 28 and then chapter 30. See, it's a personal choice, right?
Right.
So this is the terms of the contract, Deuteronomy 28. See, if you fully obey, that means you have a choice, right? Verse 15, the curses. Right. However, if you, see, they have a choice. It's if you.
Right.
And Deuteronomy 15 through 68 is basically Skid Row, right?
Right. Absolutely.
It's basically Skid Row. So are you going to get to the point where you have so much pain, so much agony in your life where, you're going to want to get off Skid Row because it's too painful, right?
Right.
And then verse 30, chapter 30, Deuteronomy chapter 30, continue with the terms of the contract. We look at verse 2, it says when and when. So when is a form of if, right? When is a form of if. And when or if you and your children return to the Most High, right? Personal choice. And then Deuteronomy 29, and this takes it back to the lesson we're doing right now. What we opened up talking about, the effect or impact that this fear of hell, burning in hell, has on us. Deuteronomy 29, verse 19, verse 20. It says, and the Most High will never be willing to forgive them. Forgive them for what? Let's start back at verse 18. Louis, do you want to read it?
Sure. Verse 18. Make sure there is no man or woman, clan or tribe among you today whose heart turns away from the Most High, our power, to go and worship the powers of those nations. Make sure there is no root among you that produces such bitter poison.
Bitter poison is the curses, right? Skid Row.
Right.
So here, the people are afraid to abandon their deities because they're going to burn in hell.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? The
Right.
Most High won't forgive them. And I think we talked to, I don't know if you guys were in the class when we went through this. Verse 29, Deuteronomy 29, verse 29. The secret things belong to the Most High, our power, but the things revealed or the things disclosed, if we look at this in the Ibaryath, but the things revealed or the things disclosed, who's disclosing? The Most High is disclosing to us, right? But the things revealed belong to us and our children forever. Why? See, that is another word for saying the purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we may follow all the words of this law. So those people who are not responsive probably have not gotten disclosure. They haven't gotten notice. Why? Because the verses we just looked at, they're attached to these deities. Y'all see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Most High not going to forgive them. He don't want anything to do with them. Right? Why? Because he's going to execute the curses on them. They're going to be on Skid Row until it gets so painful that they want to return to the Most High. And some people never get to that point. What do y'all think?
Yes.
I agree.
Mhm. And you know, and I was talking to a young lady the other day, and she's someone who never even reads the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I found it strange that she doesn't, know anything about a Bible.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's how she was brought up. You know, they didn't read the Bible. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I found that strange, really.
Well, you know, Jediah, I found that when I was in Christianity, that there are a lot of people that don't read the Bible. They depend on their pastor or leader or whoever to give them their weekly fix of the Bible, from 30 to 45 minutes a week, and that's their only experience with the Bible.
That's my girlfriend in California.
Yeah.
She only picks up her Bible when she goes to church.
Right.
But the young lady that I'm talking about, she never went to church.
I hear you.
Can I point this out? Verse 21. It says the Most High will single them out from all the tribes of Israel for disaster, according to all the curses of the covenant written in this book of the law.
Wow.
People think that there's going to be the Most High coming to rescue them.
Yes.
Rescue Israel. No, it's not going to happen that way. It's going to happen the way we see it right now. The nations are destroying us. Look at what's happening with the you know what, right?
Yes.
It just keeps getting worse and worse for us. But these religious leaders amongst our people too keep telling people that the Christ figure is going to come back and save them.
Yes. Yes.
And they go along with it because they don't want to burn in hell. They're afraid.
Exactly.
Else. Even though we get destroyed more and more and more, this is the impact of hell that it has on us. You know, there is no, what do they call it? Nobody's going to crack the sky.
Rapture.
Nobody's going to crack the sky and come save me or anybody else.
Right.
We have to save ourselves. But this is the impact of hell.
Yeah.
Fear.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad I got the chance to see Caesar's Messiah. That was very enlightening. Very enlightening.
Okay, so let's go to number 5. So let me blow this up again. Deliverance was, do you want to read it, Lewis, or?
Sure. Deliverance from going there was a blessing. Psalms 30, verse 3. 6, everything about Sheol was negative. 6a.
Look, can we stop right there?
Sure.
So do we agree, well, do you individually agree with this?
No.
Yeah, I don't agree with either.
No.
Right. Okay, let's 6.
6a. First, there's the tomb or sepulcher, the local habitation of the physical frame called Kuber.
That's modern Hebrew, you don't have to worry about it.
Okay. Is that the Strong's number 6913? Okay. 6b. Secondly, there is the corruption whereby the body itself is dissolved, which is represented by the word shakath, Strong 7843. And 6b, thirdly, there is Sheol, the locality or condition of the departed.
So here, I think what's happening is that the author or this editor is drawing people's attention to the visual image of a person in a casket or being buried without a casket in a grave. It's kind of grim, right?
Oh yeah.
As opposed to they're still in existence. Did y'all notice that?
Yes.
Because the definition that we looked at says that the world thinks that they're dead, but they're actually still in existence and in the Most High's cognizant.
Right.
But they draw the image of a dead body in a coffin or in a grave and say everything about it is negative. Y'all see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So they're trying to present this negative image in your mind. Okay, let's continue. Number 7.
Number 7, Sheol is the netherworld. 8, it is not used in one single passage for punishment after the resurrection. Yes. So why is everything about it negative? Good question. Why is everything about it negative? It isn't.
Yeah, there's no punishment.
Right, no punishment.
In contradiction to the religions that teach that you go in hell and you burn.
Right.
Yes.
9. But notice this, it says, it is not used in one single passage for punishment after the resurrection.
Right.
What does that mean?
What resurrection are they talking about? The resurrection of...
There's 2, right? There's supposed to be 2 resurrections according to Christianity.
Right. But of course, we don't deal with that, but...
Right. So it's very interesting, right? To me, what I'm seeing is that they're preparing the mind for a doctrine of hellfire. Verse 9.
Verse 9. I mean, yes. It is contrasted in regards to locality with heaven. The one being regarded as down, the other up. 10. It is spoken of as an abode for those who have departed from the way of life and have chosen the path of evil.
Y'all see that?
Yeah.
So evil people are supposed to go to hell and burn, right?
Right.
Like Judaiah said, what about the good? So here we can see this is very subtly preparing the mind for hellfire doctrine. Do y'all see it?
Yes. Sure.
Okay, 11.
Okay, 11. We're reading out of Strong's, correct?
Correct.
Okay. 11. It involves deprivation of the only kind of existence about which we have any definite knowledge, but some passages where it occurs imply a certain companionship.
That goes back to the inmates, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, 12.
12. Though man knows so little about it, Sheol is naked and open before the Most High. He can find men there. He can hide them there. He can redeem them thence. What is
Okay.
that?
Is that synonymous?
Synonymous. Okay.
Yes, synonymous with Strong's number 6, Strong's number 211
Mhm.
through
15,
yeah,
16. Yeah.
also 15, 16, yes. So now we're going to look at Brown Driver Briggs 98 2C. So anybody want to make any comments about number 12 before we move forward?
Well, number 12 just says it's we know so little about it, but it's wide open. It's there for us to gain knowledge about it if we want to.
Mhm.
And
It says
this
you can
point,
find men. Oh, go ahead.
and this points out that the Most High can find you there. He can hide you there. If there was a need for him to hide you, he would place you in Sheol.
Right.
You know.
Mhm.
Whether you're good or bad, right? Whether you're good or evil.
Right.
Right, right.
But
So there's
I mean, if there was a need for him to hide you for whatever reason, he could place you there.
mhm.
But anyway, yeah.
There's no burning, there's no punishment,
No.
right? But they're making it out to be what? They're showing that in history it's thought of as being a negative place. Everything about it negative.
Mhm.
Most High hid you
Yes.
there. Why would it be negative? Right?
Exactly.
Every man expires.
Mhm.
How is that negative going to this place? But importantly, if he can find men there, that means they have to be conscious, right?
Absolutely.
He can
Absolutely.
hide them there. He can redeem them. So there has to be consciousness. Otherwise, they don't exist.
Right.
And they say that conscious that we exist there.
Mhm.
Remember right here. Yet they are still in a state of existence. So that's existence is consciousness. Some people will argue, yeah, but they can't plan and they can't think. Well, okay, so what is consciousness, right?
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, let's look that up. And then we'll be just about ready to finish, okay?
Okay.
So
Is there a hellfire doctrine?
yes. They got paid off of hellfire, still getting paid off of hellfire.
And
Yes,
I'm talking about
Yes.
literally a doctrine that says hellfire.
Yeah, we'll look at it. Consciousness as a noun. Consciousness is a noun. The state of being awake or aware of one's surroundings.
Right.
The awareness or perception of something by a person. The fact of awareness by the mind of itself and the world. Existence. Y'all see existence?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Fact or state of living or having objective reality.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes.
A way of living.
A way of living.
Similar. Actuality, being, existence. So here's where we get Strong's number 1961 that people are calling a deity, right? Hey, y'all hear people say that? Reality.
What?
Reality is what? Remember reality, the meaning of reality? Reality, the world or state of things as they are actually exist, as opposed to an idealistic or notional idea of them. Not a good one, right? Next, a thing that is actually experienced or seen, especially when this is grim or problematic. That's a negative definition. So I'm trying to get to the part where it says reality are those things that exist that you can experience with your senses, right? In other words, reality is concrete.
Right.
Okay, so here's another definition. Oh, what happened? Okay. All right. Okay, reality, a thing that exists in fact, have previously only existed in one's mind. Have previously existed. No, that would be abstract.
Yes.
Okay, so let's not waste too much, not waste time, but let's move on. Okay. Oh, no, I think we can find it here. Okay, so this is the origin, the etymology of reality, late 15th century, by a French from medieval Latin. Now let's look this one up and see if we can get the senses. Where's the senses? I don't see it. But anyway, reality, if you come to class, I can show you this. Reality is those things that you can only experience by your senses. So that it's a synonym for concrete. Okay, so this is clear, right? If you exist, you're conscious. You have consciousness, as we just saw, right?
Right, right.
To exist means consciousness. Why y'all being quiet?
We're listening.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. So let's go back to the document. Just again, existence means reality. Reality are those things you can experience that are concrete. Reality is consciousness, right? So in other words, if you replace existence with consciousness, they are still conscious, they're still conscious, and are within the Most High's cognizant. They are still remembered according to their families. See that, y'all?
Yeah.
So let's go through the final ones. Not, I promise it won't be long, okay? But we have to be thorough because this is such a topic.
Important.
Yes, it is.
So we're looking for Strong's number 7585. And I thought this was very interesting. You know, when I was trying to look this word up, it was a little bit difficult for me to find it. 7580. So do y'all see it right here? I need to mark it.
Yeah.
Y'all see it?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so that's our Strong's number. Here's the word in the long spelling. And then we see another long spelling. But you see these are spelled differently, right? Now we saw this in Strong's. Okay. We did not see this was not in Strong's, right? There was no ha.
Yeah.
Okay. So it says one below. Okay. Below. One meaning is below. Below as in what? Subterranean, right?
Okay.
Okay, noun feminine, request. So we saw that, right? We saw request. Was it 7592, whatever Strong, it said this word is from. We saw request, okay? Thing asked for. 1, request or petition. Hold on, let me get rid of this stuff. All right. So let's continue. Uh-oh. All right, so let's move down. Okay, here we are, 7585. Okay, y'all see it?
Yes.
Here's a short spelling that we looked at, and here's a long spelling. Noun feminine. Okay, we see the English Sheol, underworld,
Mm-hmm.
place of inquiry. Place of inquiry. Reference to what? Necromancy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look it up for those people who don't know what it means. Okay, so let me close this out. Hold on. Necromancy. Ooh, this is really getting in the way of some Christians. Making it hard for some Christians. Let me share this.
Yeah.
Christians don't want to hear that.
This is the kind of thing that will cause cognitive dissonance too. It messes
That's
up your
right.
money.
It
messes
does.
up-
It definitely does. Yes, sir.
Necromancy.
Necromancy.
The supposed practice of communicating with the dead,
Mhm.
especially in order to predict the future. Sorcery, or black magic in general. Witchcraft, wizardry. Y'all see that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, let's go back to it. Okay, so here we are. So place of inquiry, reference to necromancy, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
So you'd contact someone in Sheol to inquire about a certain thing.
uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they're burning and they're on all of this pain, how they gonna have frame of mind to-
Communication.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hot. Only thing they probably ask for is water.
Yeah, they're gonna scream. They'll scream the answer to you. Mm-mm-mm.
Oh, man. Okay, whence, hollow, hand, etc. Hollow hand, etc. So let me go down. Let's go down. Okay. Notice what it says here, and I'm trying to figure out what they mean by this. Most now refrain from positive etymology. You know what I think this is, but I haven't been able to confirm it.
What's that?
We just looked at the positive etymology.
Right.
That first paragraph, remember?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Most refrain from positive etymology. Oh man.
Sorry, y'all.
You got kicked out again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says most now refrain from positive etymology. So I'm thinking what they mean by positive etymology is denotative meanings or just plain etymology. So if there's a positive etymology, there's got to be a negative etymology, right? The negative etymology would be the doctrine,
Right.
the hellfire, etc. But
Mhm.
I've been searching and I haven't been able to find anything on positive etymology, but maybe we'll do it at the end of this again. So do y'all see? So most are, in
Yeah.
other words, most are not telling the truth. They're lying. They're telling you a lie about doctrine.
Right. Exactly.
And this bull, this is a lexicon.
Okay. I was wondering about that.
All right, so let's see what else we can find. This is Brown Driver Briggs. So the underworld right here, that's the underworld. It says whether the next line is whither men descend at death. Okay. All right, gives the example about Korah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Well, that's interesting. Dark, gloomy, without return, without work, knowledge, or wisdom. Okay, 2. Condition of righteous and wicked, distinguished. Okay. So it's the condition of the righteous and the wicked. Okay.
Death is their shepherd without power and honor. They waste away.
Yeah, I think they're focusing people's attention on what will scare them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sounds like it.
See, look, consumes them as drought water. Righteous dreaded because no praise or presence of the Most High there, as in the temple.
Mm-hmm.
That's them talking, right?
Deliverance from the blessings. From the blessings?
It's
Who
crazy.
want to be delivered from blessings?
No, it's deliverance from it is a blessing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ezekiel is a land below, place of reproach, abode of uncircumcised, righteous shall not be abandoned. So why would they even go there in the first place, right? Is ransom from, so a person can be ransomed from expectation and desire. 3, later distinction of places. In a bad sense, okay, they're saying, okay, so itself as a pit, words at least compare for local distinctions of post-Judaism, post-Babylonian Judaism. Words at least prepare for local distinctions of post-Babylonian. All right, so this may be the origin of where all of this is coming from, right? Judaism.
In the New Testament.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of extreme degradation and sin as place of exile for Israel. That's in Hosea. So I think that tells us, right? This stuff is coming after Babylonian captivity from Judaism. Judaism is not, that's not us, right? That's a religion.
Exactly.
Not a bloodline, a religion.
Right.
So that pretty much covers it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That pretty much covers it. So,
Wow.
so anybody listening, you don't have to worry about being set on fire. You can.
Well, I never was worried about being set on fire. I never was, places like hell never crossed my mind.
Yeah. So for everyone listening, I hope this gives you some peace of mind. And I hope this allows you to activate parts of your mind that have been dormant so that you can begin to learn, study things that you were once afraid of, right? Because those things, many of those things will help you return to the Most High. Okay, in consideration of Deuteronomy chapter 28, 29, and 30. All right. Louis, you have anything to say before we close it up?
No, I really enjoyed going through this. I'm glad that I was able to participate this time, and I really enjoy it. I hope we can do
this again, right?
studies like this again. I mean, a word study. This word study was great. And the thing is the implications it has for the audience, the people that chose not to come in but wanted to listen. This has a great implication for them, and I hope they could see the benefit in it, or at least will allow it to go into their consciousness. And if they do, they will get the big benefit from it.
Yeah, excellent. So try to, when you read, try to do as we did in this video. So you're not reading to understand the author, but you're reading analytically to understand the author's logic, whether or not you agree with that logic, whether or not that logic holds true in your world, your experience, right? And if you agree with his conclusions, which involves you asking questions as you read. Okay. Jediah, you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, I want to see a doctrine from hellfire.
Oh, okay. So let's do that.
Yeah, we were supposed to do that.
Okay. Oh, you know what we should do? We should go to some camps' websites and see. They might get mad if I do that. But
Yeah. Maybe they might.
so for those of y'all in the, I'm gonna do it. You know what? Let me see. First, let me. I'll see if I can find something. Okay, so here's the hellfire doctrine. Christian mortalism is the doctrine that all men and women, including Christians, must die and do not continue and are not conscious after death. So we see this is not true, right? Because we saw
absolutely.
Therefore, annihilationism includes the doctrine that the wicked are also destroyed rather than tormented forever in traditional hell or lake of fire. So let's see the origin, Christian view on hell. Let's go to somebody's religion. I don't know. Anybody want to suggest, let's say Catholic. If y'all want to suggest the Hebrew Israelite organization whose website to look at, we can. Catholic doctrine. Hellfire. Oh, Pope did not say there is no hell. Okay. So let's see. Catholic Church doctrine affirms the existence of hell and its eternity. The souls of sinners descends into hell. Okay, so we see it's not only the sinners, right? The souls of sinners descend into hell where they suffer eternal fire. We saw that's not true. The Catholic Catechism states that that's never been part of the Catholic teaching. It's been part of Catholic iconography, part of Christian iconography, he said. Oh, so he's trying to clean that up. Catholic Encyclopedia, let's see. But I want to go to the Catholic website. Let's see. This is newadvent.org. Okay, so we went through all of this. Hell is a cognitive hole, cavern, hollow. Okay, hell, infernus, in theology. Usage is a place of punishment after death. Theologians distinguish four meanings of the term hell. Hell in the strict sense, or the place of punishment for the damned, be they demons or men. The limbo of infants, where those who die in original sin alone and without personal mortal sin are confined and undergo some kind of punishment. The limbo of fathers, in which the souls of just who died before Christ awaited their admission to heaven, For in the meantime, heaven was closed against them in punishment for the sin of Adam. And purgatory, where the just who die in venial sin or who still owe a debt of temporal punishment for sin, are cleansed by suffering before their admission to heaven. Y'all see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see. I wish someone from one of the Hebrew Israelite organizations would come in and explain hell for us. Let's see. I kind of want to go to some of their websites, but I don't want to offend anybody. So let's see. What's a big Christian organization? Well, let's.
Oh.
Jehovah's Witness?
They don't believe in it.
No, they're not a Christian organization.
Christian, but they don't believe in hell.
Oh, good for them.
That's the tradition I came from.
Okay.
They don't believe. Okay, so let's see if we can find hell on the Catholic website.
How about the SDA?
Okay.
Seventh-day Adventist.
Okay.
And actually, no one's more doctrinal than Southern Baptists.
Oh yeah, let's go there. So you see, people are telling our people that, you know, they're okay, they're Israel, Christ don't come back, and do this and that. But the contract says that until we return to the Most High, life is going to get worse and worse and worse. More extreme oppression, which is in fact what we see. You know. Okay, so I don't know what's happening with my web with Southern Christian Council. Is that what it's called?
You can try that, but I was just going to say Southern Baptist organization. You can just do Southern Baptist. Southern Baptist Council.
Oh, I know what we can do. Let's see. Let's see this one. I don't know why it's taking so long. Can you all hear me? Am I?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So let's see what this Christian organization believes. Our core beliefs and doctrine. I don't know why it's not pulling up. Let's see.
You still with us, Doctor?
Okay, so here it is. Y'all see?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay, so our core beliefs. Okay, so this is, this is GOCC. All right, so these are Hebrew Israelites.
Okay.
So let's see. I'm not going to read it all up. I'm going to find what we're looking for. Oh, number 10. Number 10. Anybody want to read or you want me to read?
Yes, I can do it.
Okay.
It says, we believe, know, and teach that there is a, what happened? More down? Okay. We believe, know, and teach that there is a place of torment, known biblically as hell, Hades, of Sheol. The place of the torment was created for the eternal judgment of the angels who left their holy habitation and committed the sin of fornication with women. All those who follow after the works of the fallen angels and dark principalities will also meet the same fate of eternal judgment in hell.
Mm-hmm. So most of these are, all but one of these verses are coming from the New Testament. So remember we saw in Brown Driver Briggs, it said post-Babylonian exile and New Testament. You remember seeing that?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And did we see Genesis 6, 1 through 4? Let me look that up real quick. I think we may have looked that up. Genesis 6. Okay. I'm not sure if we looked it up. So Genesis 6, 1 through 4. When human beings began to increase in number on the earth, and daughters were born to them, the sons of the Most High saw the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them. Then the Most High said, my spirit will not contend with them, humans forever. Contend with humans forever, for they are mortal. Their days will be 120 years. The Nephilim were on earth in those days, and also afterward, when sons of the Most High went into the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where they're getting their doctrine from this New Testament verse, Genesis 6, 1 through 4. Genesis 6, 1 through 4, and the rest were New Testament verses, which is consistent with what we saw, right? In Brown Driver Briggs, post-exilic Babylonian, and NT or New Testament. Why y'all so quiet?
Yeah.
So
even some of the Hebrews believe the same thing that the Catholics and the Christians believe. I guess Christians and Catholics are basically the same thing.
Yes. Christianity, all of it.
Yeah.
Right. And so they're holding to a Christian doctrine, so which means that they're really Christian.
Right. Right.
So the word in the New Testament is Hades, right? We saw it. Hades and Sheol are supposed to be synonyms. So where are they getting this stuff? Right? The idea is post-Babylonian. This idea of let me see if I can find it again, just to show it. I think it was number 3. It says later distinction of places in A, depths of, okay, for sensualists, B, This is citing scriptures. When are usually in bad sense, okay, and then probably a pit, okay. Hold on. Okay, so words at least prepare for local distinction of post-Babylonian Judaism, right? So that means, of course, Judaism started allegedly after Babylonian captivity. Remember we did the video on that?
Yes.
Yes.
The video with the long nose?
Right. Yeah, I just reviewed that today.
Yeah, Judaism. That's what that's talking about. So if you're in the audience, you should go review that video. Okay, there's a guy with a long nose. I forgot the name of it. Okay, and then 4, figuratively of extreme degradation and sin as a place of exile for Israel. Okay, so this is where it's coming from. Post-Babylonian Judaism and New Testament. That explains why they're using New Testament verses, right? Because that's where you find it. All right.
The name of that video is Lies Jews Never Return to Israel from Babylon.
Oh, okay. I gotta look at it. I didn't see it.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna, when you watch that video with what we just covered, that's gonna, well, Lewis, what could you see the connection, right?
Yes.
Having watched that video?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so here we're seeing only one scripture in Genesis. Everything else is
Luke, Matthew, yeah.
Everything else is New Testament.
Jude, yeah, all New Testament.
Yeah, post-Judaism, New Testament.
Correct.
Nothing to
New
do
lies.
Yeah. But there's a lot of Hebrew Israelite organizations who are teaching this hellfire. You know?
And people are making money off of that hellfire.
Yeah. Mind control.
Yes.
So many people come through here and they get afraid, you know, they start learning and they get afraid because of hellfire.
Got them waking up before the roosters roll in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. On one end, they're afraid to face the hellfire. On the other end, they're afraid not to empty out their bank accounts. You know, because of hellfire. So
yeah, selling them pieces of cloth.
I know, isn't that sad?
I remember when Ike used to sell this red cloth, and people would be purchasing this red cloth, and I know it because my aunt purchased one.
Yeah.
You know?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So good for us that that we have this knowledge. And just imagine if you're afraid, that's going to stop you. You know, I mean, you're stuck where you are.
Yeah, that's true. It's a sad state of affairs. It really is.
Well, that's what they use, not only in Christianity, they use fear, period, to control the people. You know, in all activities of life, they use fear. You know, like right now, they're trying to use the coronavirus. You know, fear, put fear into the people so that they can, you know, take away their liberties. You know. So they use fear in all forms.
You're right. Well, I mean, fear's a big motivator.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know that it stops people, limit people's movement and everything else because they're afraid. Dr. Usaka?
I just said it shuts off the mind. It puts a boundary around what people think, what they're even able to perceive and do.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It definitely won't allow you to be a free thinker. It will not. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
And that's what, the acronym for fear, false evidence appearing real,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what it is. We create things in our mind. We do. Because fear is only supposed to serve you when your life is in immediate danger. Other than that, fear should not be a part of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's sort of like faith. If you think about what the New Testament says about faith, is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen.
Yes.
So you're hoping for it and you haven't seen it, so there's no evidence. But they said the hope is the evidence. Isn't that something abstract as evidence?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, what's also something is that I used to believe that for decades.
Well, yeah, and so did I for decades. And I'm sure more decades than you can imagine. So,
yeah, I used to believe that crazy stuff.
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
I must have been just a weird child then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I don't think you were a weird child. You were an enlightened child. Well, family, if we're going to close, I'm going to say shalom.
Okay.
My time is 2 a.m.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that late.
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was just waking
That's
up.
good. I enjoyed it. Okay.
Okay. Well, thanks
So did
everyone.
I.
I enjoyed it. Shalom.
Shalom.